I want y'all to pay close attention to this hearing that I had here, as a trial I had here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County on, I believe it was Wednesday, June the 28th, 2023, here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, in the 33rd Circuit Court in front of a judge out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, by the name of Gary Camp. A female here tried to get a emergency protection order against me, saying that she was terrified of me, frightened of me. I never seen her a day in my life other than when she came on my YouTube channel and my Facebook channel around May of 2023. But she filed her petition June the 15th, 2023, only after I exposed her dad for one of his rental apartments on December the 7th, 2023. I mean 22. A young female and her two young children was staying in one of his rental apartments here on the southwest side of town, and he tried to burst his way in front of a sheriff deputy by the name of Nicholas Pratt, who used to work for the Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County Sheriff Department. But he since quit because he wanted to lock this female that filed this thing against me. Nicholas Pratt wanted to lock her daddy up, Lester Gillespie. But anyway, I want y'all to look and see the judge, well, two judges here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, Judge Robert Barker, a friend of Lester Gillespie's, and Judge Pearson, I believe his name Blake Pearson. I might be wrong. If I am, charge it to my head, not my heart. But anyway, both of these judges recused themselves and let a judge out of another circuit because they know I haven't been having fair trials here or fair anything here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. But I want you to see, I was sitting in the courtroom and it was things that I said is not even in these transcripts, this audio transcript. Everything that happened in that court on June the 28th, 2023, supposed to be in the same order. But it's not. And you will see it. They tamper with it. When I said one part, when I told the judge about an individual was trying, a female asked me, came to me about somebody violating her civil rights. And I said, by trying to burst into her house while a sheriff deputy was there. And I said, that person was her father, Lester Gillespie, the female that was putting the charges against me, her father, not the female whose house was burst in. And you ain't gonna hear Lester Gillespie in this here at nan time. I just want to show you how crooked these people is. I went and took this here transcript, audio transcript, back up to the clerk office and told her that it wasn't in the right order. I want y'all to listen real good. But she never, she told me it's in the right order, but you could tell it's been tampered with.
How do you say your first name, ma'am?
It's Dazik.
Danique, okay.
Dazik.
This is in the Circuit Court of Mississippi County, Missouri case number 23MI-CV00313. Style of the case is Danique Hall versus Raymond Ivy. Let the record reflect that Mrs. Hall is present in person, and let the record also reflect Mr. Ivy is present in person. This matter is on the docket for purposes taking up the petitioner, Ms. Hall's request for an order of protection. Ms. Hall, are you ready to proceed on this matter?
Yes, sir.
Anything preliminary you need to take up before we take your testimony? Anything preliminary, ma'am, before we take up your testimony? You ready to proceed on this matter, Mr. Ivy?
Yes, sir.
Anything preliminary for you before we start the hearing?
I just wanted to...
Anything preliminary?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Hall, call your first witness. This is going to be yourself.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to stand and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony about to give in this matter be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
You may be seated. State your full name and address, ma'am.
Desique Gillespie Hall. And my address is 308 North Main Street, Charleston, Missouri, 63834.
Go ahead and state in your own words why you're requesting an order of protection against Mr. Ivy.
Okay. I'm requesting that protection just because there was an incident happened where some words were exchanged, and then after that happened, Mr. Ivy several times have came by my property, my home that's being renovated right now. We are there every day, and there's no need for him to be watching or parking across the street to watch us. He's made numerous videos that I have those on the flash drive, and he's even stated talking about the property. I just don't feel safe. He's emotionally said a lot of things, slandered, but I'm not sure what he's capable of doing physically. So for that reason, I am terrified. I don't know what he's capable of physically hurting me or anything.
How many times has this occurred, ma'am?
So as far as the pretty much stalking, I consider watching. It started in June, and it's at least happened at least 3 or 4 times.
Were you ever in a romantic relationship of any sort with Mr. Ivy?
No, sir.
This occurred in Mississippi County?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions to ask the witness, Mr. Ivy?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and ask questions.
Ms. Hall, have we ever met before?
In person, no.
Have we ever spoke at all before?
In person, no.
And what was the first time that I allegedly started parking by your house or stalking you?
So the first time that we noticed you coming by there was about June 6th or June 5th.
June 5th?
Yes.
And what was I? Was I parked somewhere, you say?
Yeah, you're always parked right on the other side of the road.
When you say
in
the
your
other
white
side,
car.
when you say on the other side of the road, you're talking about on the east side of the road or the west side? The east side would be where the police station is at. The
So
west side would be across the street.
Okay. So
How do you say your first name, ma'am?
it's Desique.
Danique. Okay.
Desique.
Till it's been tampered with, you see it and started all over again. This is how they gave it to me. They tampered with it so they can take stuff out. These is people that take oaths in the circuit court clerk's office. 33rd Circuit Court here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. The home of corruption. Why it's not going in the order that the court order went.
This is in the Circuit Court of case number 23MI-CV00313. Style of the case is Danique Hall versus Raymond Ivy. Let the record reflect that Mrs. Hall is present in person, and let the record also reflect Mr. Ivy is present in person. This matter is on the docket for purposes taking up the petitioner, Ms. Hall's request for an order of protection. Ms. Hall, are you ready to proceed on this matter?
Yes, sir.
Anything preliminary you need to take up before we take your testimony? Anything preliminary, ma'am, before we take up your testimony? You ready to proceed on this matter, Mr. Ivy?
Yes, sir.
Anything preliminary for you before we start the hearing?
I just wanted to...
Anything preliminary?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Hall, call your first witness. This is going to be yourself.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to stand and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony about to give in this matter be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
You may be seated. State your full name and address, ma'am.
Does he go to City Hall? And my address is 308 North Main Street, Charleston, Missouri, 63834.
Go ahead and state in your own words why you're requesting an order of protection against Mr. Ivy.
Okay. I'm requesting that protection just, because there was an incident happened where some words were exchanged, and then after that happened, Mr. Ivy several times have came by my property, my home that's been renovated right now. We are there every day, and I just like there's no need for him to be watching or parking across the street to watch us. He's made numerous videos that I have those on the flash drive, and he's even stated talking about the property. I just don't feel safe. He's emotionally said a lot of things, slandered, but I'm not sure what he's capable of doing physically. So for that reason, I am terrified. I don't know what he's capable of physically hurting me or anything.
How many times has this occurred, ma'am?
So as far as the pretty much stalking I consider watching, it started in June, and it's at least happened at least 3 or 4 times.
Were you ever in a romantic relationship of any sort with Mr. Ivy?
No, sir.
This occurred in Mississippi County?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions to ask the witness, Mr. Ivy?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and ask questions.
Miss Hall, have we ever met before?
In person, no.
Have we ever spoke at all before?
In person, no.
And what was the first time that I allegedly started parking by your house or stalking you?
So the first time that we noticed you coming by there was about June 6th or June 5th.
June 5th?
Yes.
And what was I was I parked somewhere, you say?
Yeah, you're always parked right on the other side of the road.
When you say
in
the
your
other
white
side,
car.
when you said on the other side of the road, you talking about on the east side of the road or the west side? The east side would be where the police station is at. The west side would be across the street.
Okay, so it's right between the City Hall and my property, and then you turn down the street that's right in front of North Main.
Okay, and I started that on the 5th of June, you say?
Around the 5th, yes.
And how many other times did I allegedly...
We've at least seen you 3.
At least 3?
At least 3 more, yes.
In the month of June?
In the month of June.
And the last time?
The last time was the 13th, which was a Tuesday evening.
Tuesday evening? And the rest of them was evening or daytime?
Nope, it's been during daytime while my husband's been working on the property, and as you've mentioned in your videos, also working on the house. So it's been daytime, and then evening time was the night that we actually was outside of the property when we had seen you.
Okay. And when did you file this? First filed this petition?
So it was filed on June 16th.
June 15th. street where you say you live at, do you know what's located there? What buildings, what 3 buildings located there?
Yeah, so on the street I live, to my left, there's 2 houses, and on the this way there is the city hall, and then you have the courthouse and the police department. So I live.
You got the police department. Mm-hmm. You got the city hall.
Correct.
And you got the court.
Yes.
I don't have no further questions on that right now.
Anything further, Mrs. Hall?
No, sir.
Okay. You have any other witnesses? I'm just asking if you have any.
No.
I'm going to show that you've rested your case. Mr. Ivy, you desire to testify in this matter?
Yes, sir.
You want to stand and raise your right hand? You solemnly swear the testimony about to give in this matter be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I affirm.
You solemnly swear to tell this truth, the whole truth?
My religion don't require me to stop.
Okay, take down.
Okay.
Go ahead. State your full name and address, Mr. Ivy.
Raymond Lewis Ivy. I live at 613 Vine Street, Charleston, Missouri, 63834.
Tell me in your own words why you think these actions aren't true or didn't occur, or any defenses you have, sir.
First, if I would be able to get a court in Ms. Hall some exhibits to be able to show that it didn't
Give
happen.
them to the bailiff. He's got some exhibits to pass.
One for Ms. Hall and one for the court.
Go ahead, Mr. Hall. Or, excuse me, Mr. Ivy.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I was reading the thing that she had here for the emergency.
Well, we're not talking about emergency order.
Well,
That was denied.
Okay, I was looking at why I'm here, and she said that I'd be stalking or parking by her house, and said I'd be slandering her on my YouTubes, and she claimed that she's afraid of me, and I never met her before in my life, but I looked at when this petition was filed, and it was written on the 15th, and on the 15th of June, a young lady came to me that was somebody violated her constitutional rights, and a sheriff deputy happened to be there, and she was afraid because it was her father, and the sheriff department didn't do anything about it. The deputy wanted to do something about it, and you can hear it clearly on the YouTube when the deputy told him that that's burglary.
Sir, we're not getting into hearsay.
Okay, but
you're getting into hearsay. I only want
okay,
facts.
but it was filed on the 15th, the same day that I uploaded that particular video, and then on the 13th of the Tuesday, June the 3rd.
It's right between the city hall and my property, and then you turn down the street that's right in front of North Main.
Okay, and I started that on the 5th of June, you say?
Around the 5th, yes.
And how many other times did I let you?
We've at least seen you 3.
At least 3?
At least 3 more, yes.
In the month of June?
In the month of June.
And the last time?
The last time was the 13th, which was a Tuesday evening.
Tuesday evening? And the rest of them was a evening or daytime?
Nope, it's been during daytime while my husband's been working on the property, and as you've mentioned in your videos, also working on the house. So it's been daytime, and then evening time was the night that we actually was outside of the property, and when we had seen you.
Okay. And when did you file this? First filed this petition?
So it was filed on June 16th.
June 15th. Do you know what's on the street where you say you live at, do you know what's located there? What three buildings located there?
Yeah, so on the street I live, to my left there's two houses, and on the this way there is the city hall, and then you have the courthouse and the police department. So I live.
You got the police department. Mm-hmm. You got the city hall.
Correct.
And you got the court.
Yes.
I don't have no further questions on that right now.
Anything further, Mrs. Hall?
No, sir.
Okay. You have any other witnesses? I'm just asking if you have any.
No.
I'm going to show that you've rested your case. Mr. Ivy, you desire to testify in this matter?
Yes, sir.
You want to stand and raise your right hand? You solemnly swear the testimony about to give in this matter be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I affirm.
You solemnly swear to tell this truth, the whole truth?
My religion don't require me to stop.
Okay, take down.
Okay.
Go ahead, state your full name and address, Mr. Ivy.
Raymond Lewis Ivy. I live at 613 Vine Street, Charleston, Missouri, 63834.
Tell me in your own words why you think these actions aren't true or didn't occur, or any defenses you have, sir.
First, if I would be able to get a court in Ms. Hall some exhibits to be able to show that it didn't
Give them to the bailiff. He's got some exhibits to pass.
One for Ms. Hall and one for the court.
Go ahead, Mr. Hall. Or excuse me, Mr. Ivy.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I was reading the thing that she had here for the emergency.
Well, we're not talking about emergency order. That was denied.
Okay. I was looking at why I'm here, and she said that I'd be stalking or parking by her house, and said I'd be slandering her on my YouTubes, and she claimed that she's afraid of me, and I never met her before in my life, but I looked at when this petition was filed, and it was written on the 15th, and on the 15th of June, a young lady came to me that was somebody violated her constitutional rights, and a sheriff deputy happened to be there, and she was afraid because it was her father. And the sheriff department didn't do anything about it. The deputy wanted to do something about it, and you can hear it clearly on the YouTube when the deputy told him that that's burglary.
Sir, we're not getting into hearsay.
Okay, but
you're getting into hearsay. I only want
okay,
facts.
It was filed on the 15th, the same day that I uploaded that particular video, and then on the 13th of the Tuesday, June the 13th, which she said was the last time, me and my daughters have been attacked in this town because I'm an activist. I get police videos because my security cameras see crime being committed, and some of them threaten to do things to me. And I was on June the 13th, I was at the police station, which is right next door, right on this. All of this is here. I sit in this courtroom on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Every time I sit in the back because I watch what goes on in here. And any other time that she said that I was parking by her house, the police, I went down to talk to the chief of police. The security camera shows all of this here. Each time that I parked here, I was either at the court, I was either at City Hall paying my water bill. All of this is in the same block. And these here show when she talked about slander, she filed it on the 15th what I just gave the court would show you, that's the 15th of June, show you a month before that, when she talked about slander, you will look on this here show how she was slandering me. And when she came on my YouTube video, because I'm exposing somebody else, she got to putting on there as if she was representing the whole town, saying that the whole town is sick of you and your videos, and then called me an irrelevant, ignorant person. Then told me I need to, if I want to, I can come to one of their intervention classes to sign up. This is a person that says she's afraid of me. Then she told me that I should worry about what my two 16 and 17-year-old daughters are doing, which they have no records or nothing like that. I never met her in my life. People in the town, when they're afraid to come up against some of these groups in this town, they'll ask me, would I put it on my YouTube
We're not
video?
interested in hearsay,
Okay.
only facts.
All right, but the fact is, I never met her in my life, never said anything in her life. This is the first time I ever seen her in the 27 years that I've been here. The first time was when she came on my YouTube page, and this here show where she said, that's the first time I ever seen her picture. I knew nothing about her. I didn't even know she exists until she got on my YouTube video. I didn't know she was a hog until the chief of police brought this to my house personally. But I didn't know she was had Gillespie related to the Gillespies until the chief brought me this. He told me hog, and I looked on the back and it was signed Deja Gillespie Hall. I never threatened her. I'm not a threat to her. I never seen her before in my life. All I do, I'm an activist in this town. Anything in the public, that's what I video. And when people come on my page or my YouTube, I don't block them. I look and analyze what they say, and then if they say something that ain't
We're
right.
not talking about videos or anything, sir. We're talking about the request for order of protection.
Well, I never threatened her. I'm not a threat to her or anyone else. Like I said, never seen her before in my life. Never said anything to her until she came on my personal page, which we're not Facebook friends. And I responded what she said, and then the next thing I know, I get this.
Any questions to ask Mr. Ivy?
I don't have any questions to ask, but I also
If you have any questions to ask, you've rested your case, so I'm asking if you have any questions of cross-examination to ask Mr. Ivy.
Yeah.
Any other evidence for you, Mr. Ivy?
No, none other than what I gave to the court at Ms. Hall and what I just told you, Your Honor.
Any rebuttal evidence, Mrs. Ivy? Or
Yes,
Mrs. Hall?
Yes, I actually have some comments and actually a reason also from him and his face.
Well, we're not interested in Facebook, YouTube, or anything. None of those allegations were alleged, and we're not interested in that. We're just interested in the issues of stalking. So you have any rebuttal evidence?
No.
Okay. Both parties having rested, I'll take this matter under advisement. Written order of the court will begin.
Which she said was the last time me and my daughters have been attacked in this town because I'm an activist. I get police videos because my security cameras see crime being committed, and some of them threatened to do things to me. And I was on June the 13th. I was at the police station, which is right next door, right on this. All of this is here. I sit in this courtroom on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Every time I sit in the back because I watch what goes on in here. And any other time that she said that I was parking by her house, the police, I went down to talk to the chief of police. The security camera shows all of this here. Each time that I parked here, I was either at the court, I was either at City Hall paying my water bill. All of this is in the same block. And these here show when she talk about slander, she She filed it on the 15th. What I just gave the court would show you, that's the 15th of June, show you a month before that, when she talked about slander, you will look on this here will show how she was slandering me. And when she came on my YouTube video, because I'm exposing somebody else, she got to putting on there as if she was representing the whole town, saying that the whole town is sick of you and your videos, and then called me an irrelevant, ignorant person. Then told me I need to, if I want to, I can come to one of their intervention classes to sign up. This is a person that said she afraid of me. Then she told me that I should worry about what my two 16 and 17-year-old daughters are doing, which they have no records or nothing like that. I never met her in my life. People in the town, when they're afraid to come up against some of these groups in this town, they'll ask me, would I put it on my YouTube
We're not
video?
interested in hearsay,
Okay.
only facts.
All right, but the fact is, I never met her in my life, never said anything in her life. This is the first time I ever seen her in the 27 years that I've been here. The first time was when she came on my YouTube page, and this here show where she said, that's the first time I ever seen her picture. I knew nothing about her. I didn't even know she existed until she got on my YouTube video. I didn't know she was a hall until the chief of police brought this to my house personally. But I didn't know she was had Gillespie related to the Gillespies until the chief brought me this. He told me Hall, and I looked on the back, and it was signed Deja Gillespie Hall. I never threatened her. I'm not a threat to her. I never seen her before in my life. All I do, I'm an activist in this town. Anything in the public, that's what I video. And when people come on my page or my YouTube, I don't block them. I look and analyze what they say, and then if they say something that ain't
We're
right.
not talking about videos or anything, sir. We're talking
Okay.
about the request for order of protection.
Well, I never threatened her. I'm not a threat to her or anyone else. Like I said, never seen her before in my life. Never said anything to her until she came on my personal page, which we're not Facebook friends. And I responded what she said, and then the next thing I know, I get this.
Any questions to ask Mr. Ivy?
I don't have any questions to ask, but I also have.
Do you have any questions to ask? You've rested your case, so I'm asking if you have any questions of cross-examination to ask Mr. Ivy.
No.
Any other evidence for you, Mr. Ivy?
No, none other than what I gave to the court to Ms. Hall and what I just told you, Your Honor.
Any rebuttal evidence, Mrs. Ivy? Or
Yes,
Mrs. Hall?
Yes, I actually have some comments and actually a recent also from him in his face.
Well, we're not interested in Facebook, YouTube, or anything. None of those allegations were alleged, and we're not interested in that. We're just interested in the issues of stalking. So you have any rebuttal evidence?
No.
Okay. Both parties having rested, I'll take this matter under advisement. Written order of the court will be given in the next 7 days. Copies will be furnished to both of you. Thank you both.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Did y'all see how sloppy that was? I don't know if you can see it, but this is the disc. This is the disc that they gave me. I paid for $25. When you go to trial, you can either get a printout copy or you can get an audio copy. I got an audio copy. I've been doing it anytime that I went to trial on my divorce and everything. All of it be in the order that the court procedures go in. If you was counting to 20 and you went from 1 to 20 in chronological order, it's not going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then start over again to another track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then start to another track. 6, 7, 8, 9, then start to another track. 6, 7, 8, 9, then start to another track and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see how this was messed around? Whoever made this here, they either incompetent or they tampered with this. One of the two. And I went back up there when I first got it, the week before last, Thursday before last, and told the clerk that this thing is not in order. And she said it came just the way it was in court. Ain't no way it could have came just the way it came in court, because it wouldn't have came like this. She took it back that one Thursday. Last Thursday or Friday, I went back up there to get it. And she said the people that who she worked, well, she the clerk, but she said the state said that she did it right. Ain't no way this is right. But this is how they do me. When the judge made his ruling, which he made it on the 28th of June, the same day, even though he said it'd be about 7 days, I didn't know. But when I got it in the mail from the same clerk that gave me this here, messed up this, not in order, she sent me the ruling, and it wasn't even stamped. Had her name signed by clerk, and it wasn't even stamped where it's stamped and filed. She said they don't do that. You see, her administration just came in this year, because the lady that used to be the clerk for some decades, she retired. Anytime I went up there, everything was right. But you see, one thing about it, that's why I'm glad the judge from Cape Girardeau, Missouri came down. But see, no matter how much you mess this here up, I'm sure there's got to be a federal offense tampering with this here. Or if you don't know how to do it, then you don't need to be in there, or you need to hire somebody else that know how to do it. And then when you get paperwork back from the court, it's got to be stamped and filed. Stamped and filed. But she told me, if you want me to stamp it, I will. It ain't that I want you to. It's supposed to be. And I said it should be stamped June the 28th, 2023. She said, well, I can't put June the 28th, 2023 because it ain't June the 28th. And I think it's stamped and filed July the 17th. So it's stamped and filed on the wrong date, because it wasn't supposed to be stamped and filed on July. It's supposed to have been stamped and filed when the judge made his decision. But I'm going to leave for right now, y'all. One thing about it, this same judge, when I went up against this same female's daddy about 5 or 6 years ago, Lester Gillespie, the judge threw it out. But then they had a judge one time that got me and convicted me falsely for just videoing out there. If it was a crime to video, I've been locked up a long time ago. But one thing about it, God dealing with all of them, one way or another. Peace be still.
Get everything you need, sir.
Is there
anything else that you needed?
I'm not leaving my property until we go be together.
Is there anything else?
I don't even trust her with you.
Is there anything else that you?
Okay, why don't you trust her with me?
First of all,
Hold on, wait, stop.
You did.
This is my house.
You own the house, but you rent it, sir.
Stop it.
Listen to me, man. Fred.
Yeah.
Okay, go on and do what you're going
I'm
to do.
going to do what I'm doing. I'm taking a report.
Yeah, and I'm going to call Fred.
You can call Brent.
Don't do that. Don't do that to him, because he ain't even done nothing.
No,
This is what you're doing. You getting
I
on
opened
to
that door because
everybody.
she's in the way.
But you getting
She
on
was
to
standing behind us,
everybody.
so you
No,
committed an assault.
You getting on to
And a
everybody.
burglary, because you can't go into your house
You're
if you've
getting-
rented it to somebody.
Let me tell you what happened, sir.
Uh-huh. You barged into the door. I seen it.
The door was open.
Y'all stop.
The door was
The door
closed.
was open, but she was standing
And she was
behind it,
standing
and
right
you pushed it
there.
open.
And I asked her, we coming in.
You pushed it open.
You said she was a
Now we
sheriff.
can do this. You can leave, or you can go to jail with me. How about that?
Sir, listen to me, man.
Okay.